Moon gang. Hello. Man, this has a little bit difficult. I love it.
Moon gang, let's get after it today. What is going on with this microphone? Look at all those frogs in chat. It's going to be a fun day. It's going to be an absolutely great day. I mean, hey, if you decided to take that little leap of faith here on PROG, you're already up an additional 20% in pre-market, currently trading at 583. The pre-market at one point was as high as 640. Hey, if you like it, congratulations. If you're in it, if it's not the play for you, that's okay. There's thousands of other equities. There's thousands of other cryptos. Hey, if you're making money, congratulations. No one's a gatekeeper here. No one's saying you can't trade this, you can't trade that. For me, I'm going to get a little bit more into this, like to kind of give you a rundown of really what's going on with PROG. But for me, I think it's an undervalued company. And on top of that, I think it's being abusively shorted. If you're in AMC and GME, I think it's one, two, or potentially three things. One, you want to make money. Cool. You don't really care about market manipulation or anything like that. If you want to make money, that's fine. Well, hey, PROG's making money. If you're in it exclusively for market manipulation, well, PROG's being abusively shorted. The short interest is around 30%. The FTDs are sky high. It's on the threshold list. Why is it being abusively shorted? Well, it's trying to disrupt a very important subset of the medical industry. And obviously the profiteers of the current system don't want that to happen. They don't want the status quo to change because it's how they're currently making money. So it makes sense to me that they're trying to stymie that from happening. So If you're in it for just wanting to make money, well, PROG's up 20% in pre-market. If you're in it for market manipulation, it is being abusively shorted. If you're in it for a combination of the two, well, right there, it has both of those. Now, with that being said, if you just don't want to trade it because you don't want to trade it and you have better things to do, that's cool. That is completely cool. If you do want to trade it because you like making money, you like fighting back against abusive shorts, you like fighting back against an absurd amount of FTDs or something along those lines, hey, do your research. Do not get into it because I am in it. Please, 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 please do your own DD. What I'm telling you is not to buy, not to sell, anything like that. Am I in PROG? Yes, I have stock. I have call options. Am I still in AMC? Am I still in GME? Yes, yes, yes. I am in no way recommending that people somehow get out of their AMC, GME, or any other stock, any other crypto, if you still like that play. If you like that play, you should stick in it. Timing the market of like, okay, I like this, but I need some money, I'm going to get in this one and then hop back, that is incredibly difficult. In my own past, have I tried to like hop from like one trade, like maybe I like Tesla right now, but I need some money for this play, hopping back and forth? It can work out, yes, but there's a lot of luck involved into that. So my personal recommendation on that one is if you like a play, you stick with that play. You don't run to another one in the meantime while you're waiting for a different one to pan out. That's what you use your free capital for. Once again, these are my own opinions. I'm not in charge of your account. You do what's best for you. You do what's best for your family. And seriously, I wish you the best of luck. But before we get into the specifics of an individual equity, anything like that, let me give you a quick rundown of like what's going on from like the higher level political government market today. Wall Street looks steady after more retail earnings near record closes. So yes. So yesterday we almost hit a new all-time high in the overall market. The S&P 500 tracked by this ETF, SPY ETF, exchange traded fund. Think of it as a basket. And this one happens to be a basket of 500 of the biggest companies in the US. But the all-time high right now is 470.65. I mean all-time as in all-time, not just like since the pandemic era. This is literally the highest the market's ever been, November 5th, 2021. We were very close to hitting it. Yesterday, we hit 470.49, so we were off by 16 cents. This morning, we're opening up a little bit lower, which I do find surprising because Target and Lowe's and Home Depot and Walmart all recently had their earnings announcement, their earnings report, and they all did very well. To me, that's kind of flexing the strength of retail morale right now, which in an inflationary environment, it's nice to see that the retail spending, the average people like you and myself are still out there and confident with what's going on. So that's a little bit of a positive development there. In the tech-heavy NASDAQ 100, this one's actually, I can't say gapping up, it's up by a cent, but recently also hit a high. And then the Russell 2000, this has kind of been the trend that we've seen over the past, I don't know, year and a half, that it's doing well, but it does seem to be lagging behind the tech sector and the overall market. This is much more of the small cap. And the reason we talk about IWM, this particular ETF, is because AMC happens to be the largest equity represented in this basket of stocks. So overall, the market very close to all-time highs. SPY, Qs, IWM, we are pushing new highs just so everyone knows across the board. And in terms of crypto, we might as well talk about it right now. BTC coming down off of its high, Ethereum coming down, Looperin kind of holding, Sheeb still doing its thing. This is a host of, I think, little problems that are adding up. Obviously, China reiterating that they're still cracking down on it. We have U.S. regulations, we have U.S. taxes, and as I'm going to talk about in a second right here, India to ban crypto as payment method but regulate as asset. The government plans to present a crypto regulation bill in the Parliament winter session, details of which are being finalized. The bill appears to have changed course from the earlier plans to ban crypto in the country. So from what it could have been, it's better than how bad it could have been, but still they're banning it as a payment. So that's something to consider. And obviously India is a huge market. So if they're doing something related to crypto, it's important to pay attention to it. In general, I do think this dip in crypto will be bought. Bitcoin crowd appears high on hopium as buy the dip trends. That's the main thing I just wanted to get across right here. Previously, when we've seen sell-offs mainly related to commentary from China, it happens and then it takes a couple days, a couple weeks, and we end up coming back to where the levels we were at beforehand. This is not new commentary in any form whatsoever from China. They're continually saying kind of negative things related to crypto. This is not a new statement, and I'm just trying to get that out there for anyone who is new to the world of crypto trading, and the insanity related to it. Speaking of kind of, I guess, the reports from Lowe's, Home Depot, Walmart, Target, we are in that weird period where, like, how strong is the economy? Things are ripping higher and higher, and people are continually asking the question about inflation. And it is important because of that to really talk about some of these important reports that we get from the government. And this one relates to housing, and housing's interesting to comment on just because it's been insane over the past year. Housing starts slipped nearly 1%, falling short of expectations. U.S. home builders started constructions on homes at a seasonally adjusted rate of 1.52 million in October. The pace of permitting for new housing units increased in October. Permitting for new homes occurred at a seasonally adjusted rate of 1.65. So basically, new construction 1.52 million, and then the permits 1.65. The expectations was 1.63 for permits, and then the other one was 1.58. So building permits 1.58, and then the building 1.63. So yes, housing was short of expectations, and maybe that's what the S&P 500 is, I guess, pricing in right now. Essentially, this came out at 8:30 this morning, just so everyone knows. But it wasn't off by that much. So that's going on. We talked about Lowe's beating. We talked about Lowe's was beating, Target was beating, Walmart was beating, Home Depot was beating. So 4 of the very important, like, retail reports of how those companies are doing all beat on expectations. In terms of other reports coming out after the market closes today, we have Nvidia and Cisco. I know a lot of people are paying attention to Nvidia. And tomorrow, before the market opens, we have Alibaba, JD, Macy's, and Kohrs. So Alibaba and JD, it'll be interesting to see the tech sector, especially in China. And then Macy's and Kohrs, maybe not as indicative as Target, Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe's, but still nice to get kind of a little sentiment of what's going on in retail spending. Moving on, bond yields stay elevated ahead of key housing data. We already went over the key housing data, slightly below expectations. Biden to toward GM electric vehicle plant to sell infrastructure spending. That's pretty much exactly what you need to know about it. EV startup Lucid stock market value blows past Ford. We need to take a quick second to talk about what's going on in the insanity of EV. So, of course, you have the top dog, Tesla. Currently has a market cap of over $1 trillion. Right below that, you have Toyota, has a market cap around 250 billion. And then number 3 in the world's all of automakers. This is the entire list of automakers. It goes Tesla, it goes Toyota. 3 is the new kid on the block, RIVN. This is absolutely insane. Now, a lot of you might be saying, well, Matt, why is it insane? Well, let me give you some stats and figures. As of October, the end of October, RIVN has delivered 156 vehicles. I'm not saying 156,000, billion, million, anything. 156. That's how many. It's essentially a pre-revenue company. It really doesn't have a revenue, which is just absolute hilarity. That is the 3rd biggest by market cap of around $150 billion from the close yesterday. Number 3. Number 4 is Volkswagen, which has delivered 10 million vehicles, has a revenue of $300 billion. That's number 4. A company that's delivered 156 vehicles is now more valuable than a company that delivers 10 million. Volkswagen coming in at number 4. That stuff, that's insane. Like, if you can't appreciate the comedy in that scenario. A company that's delivered not even 200 vehicles is the third biggest based on market cap. That's insane. Now, if we go down the line, there are other ones. So it used to be the new kid on the block. You have Lucid. I have been time and time again calling out this gap fill of 56. I think we're still on par to get that. Currently has a market cap of 90 billion. That's actually outpacing Ford right now. Ford has a market cap of 80 billion, which we all know Ford. And then the other one that people commonly talk about that Biden's about to be meeting with, we have GM, which is slightly below Ford, slightly below Lucid. Lucid about 91, 92 billion. GM about 90, 91 billion. So the insanity in automakers, specifically EV automakers right now, man, oh man, this stuff is absolutely nuts. Bask in the chaos. Does it make sense? No. Does it have to make sense? Absolutely not. I just hope if you're choosing to dip your toe in this pool of insanity, please have a reasonable trading plan. Do I think that this insanity can continue forever and ever and ever? No. But does that mean that you shouldn't be making money on it in the short term? No, that's why you're engaging in the market, is obviously to make some money. So I just wanted to give you some of those facts that right now, Rivian, it's going to be a fun watch. Just the fact that it's doing so absurdly well. Number 3 in automaking. So overall, that's the general setup I have for you today, and I'm kind of assuming a lot of you are in here right now just because of the insanity of PROG. But before we get into a quick breakdown, just so everyone feels a little bit more comfortable about the situation of PROG, let me give you this rundown of AMC and GME first. AMC, fake out breakout yesterday. We similarly had a fake out breakout on November 8th. We are attempting to get out of this wedge that we've ever had since basically mid-June. Today, if we get above around the low 43s, if we close above 43.50, you know we closed above this wedge. We got above it yesterday. Unfortunately, we got smacked down at the clear resistance of 44.30, 44.40, something like that. We are looking for the break and hold above it. AMC had excitement yesterday. Unfortunately, as we got to market close, it just didn't hold. People started selling. Whether it was them getting out of their long positions or new shorts entering the game, we're not really going to know. Selling is selling. It inherently looks the same. But this is the technical setup on AMC. I like the momentum. It's green. It's abiding by this bottom trend line. We are looking for the push through. In terms of the numbers, the estimated short interest is just below 16%, utilization 80%, shares on loan 91 million. What I wanted to bring up right now is I'm seeing some people who are using things such as Fintel, or I'm trying to think of the other data source, iBorrowDesk, and there's one more, maybe Stonko Tracker, trying to point out that there's not many shares left to short on AMC. There is. Remember, when you're using things such as iBorrowDesk, Fintel, Stonko Tracker, it's using one singular data source, and that's getting it from Interactive Brokers. Remember, there's many other brokers out there. So if you're using one, it's accurate, but it's not the full picture. It's a little glimpse of the overall picture. Utilization, the fact that it's at 80%, we have 20 more percent to go, tells me there's about 18 to 20 more million shares that could be somewhat easily shorted on AMC right now if you're talking to the proper broker. And at that point, we're not even really talking about market makers. Right now, AMC is not hard to borrow. With the data and the data sources that people are using, it is accurate to that data source, but please understand it's not the full picture. There's about 18 million shares of AMC that could go out on loan against AMC pretty much today. So I just saw a little bit of that on Twitter, and I just wanted to do my best to explain what's going on there. In terms of GME, so GME from a technical perspective is looking solid. Would love for it to get above and close above 210. I love the fact that it's above 200. Would love to see this breakout. Let's say 225-ish. The only thing that I'm not too happy with right now on GME, love the technicals, but the volume is very low. There's not much excitement, whether we're waiting for further development on the NFT marketplace, maybe commentary from Ryan Cohen, maybe something from Loopring. Yesterday, Loopring shot up for a little second there because they were tweeting out things that were kind of rhetoric from the GameStop community. So to me, that's strengthening the fact that Loopring is doing the development for GameStop. And I think this is an absurdly intelligent, smart decision from both leadership teams. I want it to work out. I think it's smart, but the enthusiasm is not yet pouring over into GameStop's price action. We're seeing the excitement in Loopring's price action, but not yet. It's just low volume, but we know, like, it can turn on a dime, folks. So we just have to wait, be patient. I'm looking at the levels of 200, 210, and 225. In terms of the Ortex numbers, the estimated short interest is 8.8%, utilization 31%, shares on loan 6.4 million. And obviously for AMC and GME, we will check on those throughout the day. Now let's talk about PROG. Progenity, the thing that is making a lot of people money, and it's also making a lot of people jealous. Jealousy is obviously a very, very ugly color, but people are currently falling victim to it. Currently just below $6. Just below. Man, this thing, so freaking incredibly strong. $6 is an important level. If we are fortunate enough today that PROG can get above that, you're talking the sevens. I'm trying to map out some levels right now, but geez Louise, PROG is looking so freaking good. I mean, I guess you could watch 650. You could watch 720. Man, this thing is just looking so phenomenally good. So if you don't know about PROG, P-R-O-G, the company is Progenity. They're in the pharmaceutical biotech world. The main things that they're dealing with is preeclampsia, gastrointestinal health, oral biotherapeutics. It is a pharma, biotech, medical supplies type of a play. The reason I'm particularly interested in this is twofold. Fold number one, I think it's just fundamentally undervalued. Gastrointestinal health, oral biotherapeutics. So if we just take one pillar of the business, check this out. In October, it received a patent. This patent right here, if these are the fancy numbers, are the company's drug device delivery versions for whatever this is. I'm not even going to Zelzans. I probably shouldn't even try to pronounce it, but I want to focus on Humira. So back in October, it got a patent for this delivery system for related to the world of Humira. This is incredibly important. Why is that important? Once again, October 5th, you can check out the patents yourself. Why? Right here, from just a pure fundamental standpoint, we are talking about one of the business pillars. This ABV, this is like a publicly traded stock that you could check out. This is the revenue from Humira itself. Look at 2018, 19, 20. We're talking just under $20 billion. This company, Progenity, is looking to upset a huge subset of the medical industry. 20 billion, 20 billion, 20 billion. Right now, Progenity, if you look at it, market cap of 640 million with an M, and it's attempting to disrupt this industry, and that's just a little subsect of its entire business, one of the business pillars. So what you need to know about it, Humira, very common. It's injected. The people, its patients, the consumers of Humira have to physically inject it into themselves. Well, with Progenity, it's now in the delivery system that they have the patent for. It allows for an oral method, which I'm assuming people don't want to inject themselves. They would rather just take an oral method. It obviously seems a lot better. So right there, if you're trying to argue the fundamental aspect, I think Progenity, in my own assumption, is fundamentally undervalued because it's valued at $600 million. And to me, when you're disrupting a $20 billion a year industry, hey, you should probably be valued a little bit more. And to me, that's important to note that it's only one pillar of its business. It does have other things in the flames there. It has other aspects that it's working on. So why is it being shorted? So if we look at some of the data here, we have a short interest, estimated short interest is 27%. Well, to me, that it's not the craziest thing because the profiteers of the current system would not want this to be successful because they're profiting off of the current system. So why would they want anything to change? To me, that's what represents the 27% short interest. The shares on loan, 36 million, utilization 99.9%, cost to borrow 64%. These numbers are high. It has the makings for a short squeeze. It does. Is that going to happen? No, I can't guarantee anything. I'm wearing a frog hat on a stream yelling at a camera in my basement. I can't guarantee squat. Let's be a little bit realistic about the situation, but I like the odds of the situation. The final thing I want to point out here is FTDs. PROG, once again, I believe we are on day 20. We are on day 21. It has been on this threshold list for quite a while. What does that mean for people who need to know about threshold lists? Failure to delivers, it means even though on October 29th, we know that there's 6 million, it means that the FTDs have been continuing forward. We know that a type of FTD is naked shorting. There are various other types of fails to deliver, but at the end of the day, these should not be happening. Really, especially to this degree, it means someone is not delivering on the promise, whether they don't have the cash or they don't have the stock. A lot of the times it means they don't have the stock, and it tells me something potentially illicit is going on in the background. I think Progenity, this is my own assumption, please do your own DD on it. I think it's being abused because someone out there does not want this company to be successful because it represents a risk to some other company or some other entity's bottom line. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, but to me, it's starting to add up. And because of that, I think they've been caught. I think people on digital communities throughout the interwebs have caught what's currently going on in Progenity. They see the short interest, they see that the company is fundamentally undervalued, and to a lot of people, it has the writing on the wall that this company is being abused and someone is trying to stymie its progress. So because of that, I feel like I have a decent understanding what's going on. There are people out there who have a far better understanding of the current situation, but I'm taking the bet that there's enough people who have realized at least similar things to what I'm currently articulating, and they're saying, no way, Jose, we're buying this thing, we're putting the pressure on the shorts. Now, obviously, do not buy this stock off of my little monologue right here. Please, 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 please do your own DD, do your own research. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't want anyone to making a decision off what someone in a frog hat is screaming at their camera. Maybe this is a starting point. Look into the company, look into the patents, check out Humera, see what's going on with the FTDs, check out the information from Ortex, all these FTDs, the short interest, all that information. You got to look at it. I'm just trying to present the data for you, but you need to come to your own conclusion because at the end of the day, if you're putting money on the line, it's your money. You got to be responsible for your own financial decisions. I am definitely not the arbiter of your financial decisions, but to be completely transparent, I own stock. I own calls. I want this company to go sky high. I think it's fundamentally undervalued, so I'm happy to have my position regardless. If it squeezes, cool, that's a bonus. I'll take my money, I'll ride it up, I'll lock it in, I'll wait for it to cool off, and I'll reinvest because I think it's undervalued. The entire concept of it being also a squeeze candidate is just it's a kicker in this situation. This has been brought to my attention from my Discord. Shout out to Wall Street Viking. Shout out to True Demon. They brought it to my attention about 4 to 6 weeks ago. That's when I first created my position. I've been lightly talking about it, but now that enough people are starting to realize the insanity of the situation and they're fighting back, it's obviously worthwhile to speak about. To be specifically clear, am I in any way campaigning that people should get out of their other plays that they're like to get up to get PROG? No, I used free capital that I had in my account to get PROG. I would never ever say try to time the market of getting out of a different play that you like to get in this play. I think that's a poor methodology. Let's get ready. Let me switch over to the 1 minute and then I'll answer some of your questions. We have to watch Lucid and RIVN today as well, just because insanity you never know. It's just the market. What was it? What did Ken Griffin say? That it's looking frothy? Yeah, the market is looking pretty freaking frothy. PROG is giving me SPRT vibes. I would say I'm getting similar vibes as well. But remember, use SPRT as a lesson. It didn't hold there. At a certain point when things go crazy, don't get too greedy with it. You have to have your trading plan. I refuse to trade this, but I love to trade in that. Tons of respect for your perspective. Too many people turning trades into cult-like followings nowadays. I agree with that. To me, if we're going to get into the world of tribalism and cultism, the cult should be about market reform, not the successor and or failure of an individual equity. That's silly. The cult should be surrounding fixing the downfalls of the market, not an individual stock. That's silly. Borderline collusion. Morning, Duck Lord. Could you check out GOEV on Ortex, please? It's my preference over LCID in the sector. Grats on PROG and EV. Tendies, apes. All right, let me write that down. We have 2 minutes until the market opens. You want to check out GOEV on Ortex. GOEV Ortex. Got it. Ty becoming a space ape. Oh, your 4-month anniversary, actually. I've been looking for seasonal trades in traveling and tourism pre-COVID, plus the ban being lifted on international travel in the US for vax. Good entry points in the sector. Thoughts? So I guess I would need to know like what ETF or equity you're particularly looking at to like have a more fruitful discussion. Matty Ice, last night rant was absolutely epic and needed the ape community, and so well said. Thanks. I applaud you. Hey, I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Thank you. So I took a certain amount of money and invested it in 10 newer cryptos in hopes Bitcoin repeated may happen long term. Of course, any major suggestions that aren't FOMO based? Now find it. Newer, I mean, it depends on newer. My crypto portfolio is mainly Bitcoin and Ethereum. I have Cardano, Solana, Algorand, VeChain, Hex, Doge, Sheeb, I think, and Litecoin. Those are all the cryptos I'm personally invested in right now. And I have some NFTs. Roberto, Tesla. What's Tesla doing? Tesla. We'll have to see the open, but I believe it's gapping up. I wish you all the best today. So happy to see the excitement in here, rooting for any stock that any of you may be in. What's going on? Occam's Phaser. Good morning, Matt. Can you take a look at GGPI? Bought some puts yesterday. Hope we're in gap fill on the daily. As always, thank you. GGPI. Got that written down. Any more news regarding ATR and naked shorting? Not yet. I haven't heard anything. Ding, ding, ding. The casino is open. Hi, Mark. Happy birthday. I bought 600 shares of PROG on Tuesday. I did Humira injections for 2 years and it cost me thousands per dose. Game changer. About to buy back my PROG covered calls. Haha. Thanks, frog/duck guy. What's going on, King Magnetic? Missed stream yesterday, so sorry if you already addressed this. What are your thoughts on Mark Cohen's NFT suggestion for AMC? I think it's a good idea. I have some technical questions related to the airdrop of how we could pull it off. But conceptually, of just trying to track all ownership, I think that's smart. But there are technical hurdles that have to be overcome to figure out like if this can be properly pulled off. Away and Cruise, I believe, are both newish. Away and Cruise with a Z. Got it. Quick input on opening up after the pandemic. In Europe, we're about to hit a fourth wave. Lots of EU shutting down again. Wouldn't mess around with travel airlines. Interesting. So some, I guess, somewhat negative news coming out of the people listening from EU. I guess they're running into a fourth wave and there might be an additional shutdown there. All right. Tesla up. What's the SPY going to do? SPY down a little bit. RIVN. So Lucid and RIVN going a little red. AMC and PROG going green. Once again, GME, we're not seeing volume. Let me know if GME gets going, but it hasn't even traded 50,000 shares, unfortunately. All right. RIVN. Is there a frog? I need a frog. This kind of looks like a frog, right? For today, can we just pretend that this is a frog? If you're new to the channel, this is some secret stuff I teach people about the market. It all relates to emojis and the proper emoji trading. Now, some of you might be thinking, whoa, that doesn't make sense. Why would emojis help or hinder a stock? Like that doesn't connect. My response to all of you who might think that emojis don't impact the movement of a stock, why would they give us emojis then? Think about it. Why would emojis be an option if it doesn't help or hinder a stock? Like, obviously it's meant to be used. So let's just think about it a little bit there. And Do I have some insight to hedge funds? Of course. I know that hedge funds use these things day in and day out. Day in and day out, if you walk into any hedge fund right now, you're going to see a bunch of charts with a bunch of emojis. Borderline guarantee it. Borderline guarantee it. Your last video shows why you are here and how much you care. I see it in your eyes and hear it in your voice. Keep growing. We're all welcome to passion and perspective. Believe in you. Shout out. I appreciate that, Stuart. Thank you for the support. Hey, I know a lot of people agreed with it. I know a lot of people disagreed with my statement, and it's just how I feel. So if people disagree with it, I appreciate to the sport to this point. And if you don't agree with it any longer, and if you don't want to support me, I appreciate the support you've given. And I hope you find a creator that really resonates with you. But at a certain point, you have to be truthful to your brand. And my brand is calling out crazy things that happen in the market. My brand is calling out plays that I think are interesting and speaking my mind. My brand is not sitting here and saying, this is what AMC's at, this is what GME's at. I speak about AMC and GME because I think they were abused. It's that simple, but that doesn't mean that there aren't other equities that are abused. I am not beholden to exclusively speaking about two individual equities. This whole time I've been speaking about multiple ones. All right, we got to get this frog working. Cheers to the best emoji user on this side of the Mississippi. Thanks for covering what's trending in the markets. Happy to, Aaron. Your trip. Love you. What's going on, Jason? Duckler, GOEV, Ortex, please. This is a big bet. All right, let me pull up Ortex over here. On GOEV, AMC is moving. GOEV, short interest of 28%, cost to borrow of 3.5%, utilization 90%, shares on loan 37 million. Estimated, okay, yeah. So GOEV looks like it's swinging back around. It has some interesting numbers for sure. Remember, on the daily chart of AMC, the number we're watching is it tapped the top line, but it would be really nice to get above 44 and a half. 43 and a half, it's nice. That means we're out of the wedge. It's where we're at right now. We are pushing a big daily breakout region. Watching this 44 and a half, 43 and a half, this entire thing, we're pushing. We're pushing. We got that rocket going. Rivian going red, potentially not the third biggest automaker anymore. GME getting a little bit of a swing here. Low volume, but 210 nonetheless. If it can hold above 210, definitely interested in watching 225 on GME. We got to get this auto scaling in here. Maybe the issue on PROG is that we don't have a big enough head. All stock lives matter except Robinhood. Island Boys is on CMC and pumping. Duck Lord. All right, we did GOEV. AMC moving. GME moving. PROG. I mean, PROG's green on the day. It's up 14%, but the intraday, it went up to 620. Currently at 550. Let's see where a base could hopefully be formed soon. All right, AMC is on that move. So we got over the first one. The first important level. The next important level, 44 and a half. That's the next key technical breakout. Lucid bending back around. How's the overall market doing? A little bit red. Qs selling off. IWM kind of selling off there. All right, let's see if AMC can hold this. That's a key level right there, 43 and a half. GME pushing. GME above 210 is very nice. Above 210, there is some hiccups around 215, but I think if we get above that region, we could talk about 225. Morning. Looks like Mark Cahotis handed Gasparino his own ass. Love you all. Let's get that money. What's going on, Kinky Kong? I like that. All stock lives matter except Robinhood. Didn't Robinhood hit a new all-time low? I believe. Let's check in on Hood. I think it's a new all-time low. Yes, it did. Yesterday, Robinhood hit a new all-time low. Wow. RIVN giving back some of them games. Lucid. How's Tesla? All right. AMC still looking good, which is interesting. Then we need to bring up IWM here. Interesting. You don't see this divergence too often when AMC is doing very, very well and IWM is actually having kind of an opposite day. Not too often do you see that. Let me see. Let me see what my PROG's doing. I didn't check on it. I kind of wish I checked on it right at open. So my PROG calls for December are currently up 125%. The ones that were purchased literally yesterday. If only I bet a lot more money. If only. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. All right. IWM going down, but AMC looking strong. Interesting day. Very, very interesting. Lock it in and roll it to AMC. I will, but I'm not going to lock it in now. Well, no way would I lock it in now. There's still so many shorts that are getting burned actively on PROG. Kinky in the house. Hey, Matt, Subaru guy. Nice profit on PROG. Out at 580. Stop loss hit. Bought 30 GME with the 6,400 profit. My this safe have asset. Go apes. Shout out, man. Congratulations. Locking in at 580. Nice. Congratulations. Look at that. Rolling it over into a core one at GameStop. Congratulations. 6,400. Not a bad day's work. 6K just like that. That's amazing. Just for playing a game on the computer. Not a bad deal. Donating a kidney to buy more PROG based on your DD. I highly recommend you do not do that whatsoever. Based on my DD, not the best move. Today is Wednesday. All right. Let's see how this actually plays out. Things are moving today. All right. I just got some lottos on PROG just to see what happens. Small position. Whenever you hear lotto, you should think, hey, very, very small bet, because most of the time lottos do not pay off. Whenever I do a lotto bet, I think it's best to think of it as like, okay, yeah, you're probably going to end up losing this money. So lottos, especially for options that are about to expire. I bought options for like this Friday. You pretty much have to assume that there's like a high statistical chance that money's going to go bust. That's why it's small, very, very small. And the reason for that is when you're playing such a short-term, out-of-the-money call, just the odds of it hitting are so low. And if it does hit, you make a good percentage return, but it's just so incredibly high risk. It is not for everyone. You got to be careful with it. And one way to really control your risk is just to take a small bet. Hedgies officially infiltrated the dating apps convo on my Twitter. Trey's Spit, senior advisor, told me to sell my AMC. Good laugh. Go read the combo. All right, I'll check that out, Drake. 1 year wedding anniversary this weekend. Wife's going to be stoked. I got her PROG shares because the duck kid in the frog hat likes the stock. Just sold Lucid with 120% profit straight into AMC. Now, those who shame others plays can STFU. My reusable toilet paper just got in. Now I can save more and buy more AMC. All right. We're getting... I love how AMC's holding right now. 43.5, we're holding that. Of course, we have to watch 44, key psychological level. Let me make this green. Maybe that's going to help. But 44.5 is so incredibly important. 44.5, woo, woo, woo. PROG getting going. PROG getting going. All right. AMC having a great day. GME having a great day. PROG having a great day. Maybe not the overall market, but hey, 3 of the things we're watching are having a great day. I guess we could check out the Qs. They're kind of flat. IWM. This might get turning around, but hey, I don't think many of you are actively trading these things. You're trading probably these 3 things. Here, let's throw up. Is RIVN still going red, giving back some of this? RIVN, reality might be finally setting in on RIVN. Let's see. It's kind of the game of, is it going to get above 158 or below 154? Those are the levels I would watch on RIVN. Chaos ensues if it keeps pushing up. Reality might come knocking if it goes below 154. I'd watch this being range bound. Hey, young man. Hi from Mexico City. We watch your show. Looks like AMC getting to the MOAS soon. We have 1,000 shares at 45. Can you look at GGPI? Let me write that down. Congratulations on your position. Looks like we're about to come pick you up. Pick you up. If your lotto play ends up in the money, make sure you exercise into stock. Also, happy birthday. There's not enough capital in the account to exercise, so I would just have to sell and then buy the shares that I can buy. Matt, my rule of thumb, I sit on my hands for the first 15 minutes. Matt, also let's toss out a lot of play 12 minutes in and see what happens. So the reason I did it is like that 15-minute thing is I just waited for this weakness and I bought on this strength bar right here. So it was actually a little bit, or no. Let me see what time it went through. It might have been this bar. I was waiting for that early morning of people who were just so stoked. They're like, oh, I'll take my money. And then I wanted to see the newest demand. Yeah, sometimes you're going to break your rules. Most of the time when you break your rules, you're going to end up paying money. But today I broke this rule on PROG, and I would call it a half break rule, just because I think that time can be helpful. And who knows, maybe this is it and I get bit in the ass. But with some insanity like this, I kind of waited for that weakness. And then when I saw a little bit of strength, I got in with the risk basically just being 540. On the newest lotto play. But the shares, man, I'm so far away from my entry on the shares that I'm sitting comfortable. Lots of rightfully earned profit taking on PROG. Good entry point if you're consider hopping on board. New higher ups ties with Pfizer. Interesting. Thoughts on Staples Center's Arena change to crypto.com. I just read that this morning that Staples Center, I guess now the naming rights was sold to crypto.com. Crazy. Those things are expensive. To get the naming rights to any professional arena, it costs a lot of money. And I've always just, like, it's such a weird flex. Like, who's ever been like, you know what? Because I saw the name of the arena, like, I'm going to now go buy that product. Like, I really wonder if buying those naming rights, like, is actually a solid business move. Because to me, it seems just a little bit more braggadocious. Like, it's just like, how could that relate to, like, more income? Like, who's ever been to like the Mercedes, like the Benz arenas? Like, I need to go buy a Mercedes right now because I just saw a football game. Yeah, it's like brand recognition, but it's just like it was expensive. I think it was like $700 million. You think $700 million, if they did that in another form of advertising, it would be like money better spent. I get that it's brand exposure. It's just very expensive brand exposure. It does? Okay, if it does, it does. Like, hey, man, I hope one day I'm in the position to decide if I want to buy a $700 million naming rights to an arena, the Kohrs Ape Arena. I'd be stoked. I'm just voicing my interest in. I want to know like what the conversion really is. Have you been watching CEI? Not really. CEI had concerned me for various reasons. It seemed like kind of pump and dumpy. There was a pretty scathing short interest or like a short report coming out about it. And then the people who were supporting CEI were not able to disprove it. So CEI, I found to be concerning, and I like stayed away from it. I never traded it. Very concerning that the people who were supportive of it were not able to debunk the short report. And you would think that if it was an erroneous short report, they would have been able to very quickly debunk it. What kind of range are you looking at getting out of PROG? Happy birthday. I threw you an extra 5. Hey, John, I appreciate that. Getting out, I don't have a price level like that. I've found, especially using AMC's previous moves, GME's previous moves, and SPRTs and DWACs, all of those, like just when you get these insane types of moves, I find it easiest to just ride the trend. I don't particularly have like a hardcore price target in mind. It's just if the trend's intact, I'm going to be in the play. Matt, there are rumors that Ken Griffin wants to talk with you in an interview. The only condition is that both of you use a thong on it. That is, I don't know how those rumors got out, but that is true. Currently in, this is so ridiculous. Currently in discussions with Ken. I was like, hey, let's do an interview. And then his PR team got back to me. He's like, yeah, but we both have to wear thongs. And I was like, that's weird, but hey, you got to do some crazy things for content. I've lived my whole life in LA. When you're driving the freeways, you can't stop in the arena when you're sitting in the parking lots. I mean, freeways. That's a good point. So a lot of people might be like, what's it called? Crypto.com. I feel like a lot of the advertising, like the success of it might come from like the actual name switch of people are like, what's crypto.com? Because even now we're talking about crypto.com, and the amount of people who don't know about it are probably Googling crypto.com. So sometimes I feel as if like the actual announcement is like the thing that really like brings in business. Morning, Matt. Haven't heard you talk about chair lately. Hopefully you didn't replace it. Flip my PROG profits into AMC. Congratulations, John. Nope. Still same old chair supporting me. Day one. $5 for the thong fund. Me and my 4-year-old Drew are home today in day 5 of quarantine. He loves your hat. Can you give him a rivet? It will make his day. Shout out. What's going on, Drew? Drew, hey, what's going on, buddy? I hope you're feeling good. I hope you bounce back very, very quickly. I hope you have a fun day there. And thank you for complimenting my hat. What's going on? A space ape in trading. Hey, everyone. If you can, we have a 4-year-old who's currently in quarantine. If you guys could all say hi, Drew, in the chats here, just so we can show that off to him. Make sure Drew knows that he's with a lot of people who are supporting him. Happy birthday, Max, Mark, Matt, aka Thick Kohrs. We all appreciate your insight and passion for the markets. You make me proud to be an ape. What's going on? Look at that. Drew, I hope you're having a good one. RIVN, finally, I guess reality's catching up a little bit to it. If we can't be an ape, if we have a spread, not just AMC and G, then we be a spider monkey because we all jacked up on Mountain Dew. What's going on? SNDL rumored to have been above $1 by 11/22, or it'll be delisted. Share repurchase program 11/19. Thoughts on short-term play? SNDL. So I haven't been tracking like the delisting, unlisting. I know about SNDL because so many people ask me about it. Just a little bit. Like, I'm not saying I'm an expert on it or anything. I just think when it comes to the marinara industry, it makes most sense to me to play the biggest ones with the most name recognition, with Tilray being number one and Canopy Growth Company being number two. SNDL is about like a fifth of the size. So, I mean, I think that entire industry, we're just waiting for federal development, federal progression for basically the legalization of marinara. So with it, I think they're all going to benefit. But in terms of risk reward, I have found that it's most beneficial to bet on the biggest ones with the most name recognition, which would not be SNDL. It would be Tilray, then followed by CGC. Or if you just want to play the entire sector, you could play ETFs such as MJ. What's this thing called, a stock? I'm here for the rants. That PROG sell-off or an attack, I mean, I think is a lot of people who saw this gap up. It's up 14%. It's not really a sell-off. It's up 14%. It's coming down from this high, but it's up a huge percentage right now. I think it's people realizing, like, shorter-term traders, whether day traders, probably not day traders, probably short-term swing traders realizing profits, but I don't find it to be bothersome just because I think the play is bigger than the minutia of an intraday movement. I think it's some of these shorts are like actually screwed. My wife just walked into the office and said, "What the F is Matt wearing on his head?" I said, "Straight face, it's the frog hat because AMC is feeling froggy." She looked at me like I'm mad and walked out as if, "What's going on, Paul?" Glad to see you still have the same hat on. What's going on, Phoenix? Matt Kohrs has 6 nipples. Sell the rumor, buy the news. There's a Smoothie King arena in New Orleans. AMC is the ultimate distraction to PROG. Haha, joking. LFG, AMC, and PROG. What's going on, Josh? Any difference between selling calls and buying shares, or exercising calls pretty deep in the money? Anything to be aware of? Taxes. Exercising. I don't think that exercising is a taxable event because you're just converting the contract from basically you're converting the contract, you're following through on it, saying, giving me the stock. Between selling calls and buying shares or exercising calls. If you exercise calls, you're getting the fill at the strike price opposed to the current price. So that might help you with your average there. If you sell the call for a profit and then buy shares, selling a call would be a taxable event. To my understanding, obviously you have to like talk to a CPA, a tax professional about that one. But if you realize the profit of an options position, that's a taxable event. I don't believe converting the option straight into stock is a taxable event. But that's something you need to like check and double check and triple check. Leftover pizza cut up into bite-sized pizzas. Whip up a few eggs. Wait, what is this? Recipe, please. Make pizza eggs. Pizza eggs are a thing? I need to know more. I know you prefer Tilray, but thoughts on SNL with approved buyback of 100 million starting the 19th must get good compliance by the 22nd. So when a company is buying back, that's most of the time a positive development, because if they're willing to buy it back, it's kind of signaling to the public that they think they're being undervalued by the public. That's most of the time. This one might be just a play to make sure that they're just not going to get delisted. So I'd have to look a little bit more into it. But when I hear buyback, generally I think bullish. Breakfast nachos are a thing. Interesting. Look at all these great food options we have. Ooh. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What's my take on QuantumScape QS? It's an EV play, a little bit of an upstream play. I think it's a good company. I've looked a little bit into their leadership team. It's backed by Volkswagen. It's backed by Bill Gates. They had some weird, like, basically document filing stuff at the end of the year, December, start of the year, January, that caused the stock to really sell off. And it seems to try to be recovering from it. I think it's undervalued, but with that being said, I think there's still better EV plays. I'm like, in terms of just the volatility and the movement, of course, you have RIVN. Tesla's always moving. Lucid. I like QuantumScape. I just think there's better plays. I think there's better risk-reward setups. PROG dilution rumors. I don't know what the rumors are. Can PROG be diluted? Yes, there is authorized shares. So if they want to, they could announce that. I think it would be really, really silly, especially to do that when there's rumors of like it being acquired or a partnership. From a business perspective, I don't think they would want to dilute their own stock at this moment in time. Could it happen? Yes. What it would be, I think it would be a net negative, though, to the company and to the leader. And I think the leadership team knows that. So that is a risk of the current situation. It's fair for everyone to know that there is a risk. Like, yes, the way GameStop was diluted, the way AMC was diluted, that can happen in Progenity. I just can't really come up with a reason of why the, I guess, powers at PROG would want to follow through on that. Or someone said crypto. Whoa, crypto's still a little bit weak. I have not bought the dip yet, but I fully have plans on doing it. I'm just watching it. I'm seeing if the dip is going to continue to dip. I'm basically waiting for that like first sign of real strength, and then I'll probably buy up more crypto. Did you mention that the CEO bought 2 million shares 2 days ago? Sorry if it's repetitive, but if it's important, CEO wants to hold equals bueno. I believe that they only have 3 million left to dilute right now anyway, according to Demon. Okay, so even that's small. I mean, it's still a considerable, well, there's PROG, PROG has a free float about 80 million. So if they do dilute by 13 million, I mean, that's over 12%, 15% dilution. Like, that's something to consider based on free float. I don't know if insiders would buy it, because then you're talking about the outstanding shares, which is closer to about 150, 160 million. So it can happen. I'm just trying to be honest and straight up of the scenario. Could it happen? Yes. Mathematically, would it be that detrimental? I don't see it, but what would be more detrimental are just the headlines associated with it. But also what we've previously seen with AMC and GME is on the announcement of an at-the-market offering, it gets hit, it stays red, and then on the announcement that the at-the-market offering is completed, the stock shoots up. I don't have any reason to think that if PROG does go down this path, which once again, it is not like certain that they're even going to do it, but if they do it, I don't see why it would deviate from a similar pattern that we've previously seen on AMC and GME. And also, if you're diluting by 13 million, can I just point out that the volume on PROG today, 30 minutes into the day, has been 77 million? If you give it another half hour, we're literally going to be 10x the volume of what the potential dilution is. So just to give you, that's why I'm saying, like, mathematically, it wouldn't be that impactful. I mean, we've traded 77 million and we're talking about 13 million. Would you pick Franklin Chair or Cheez-It Arena? Probably Cheez-It Arena, just because that would be absurd. And I would hope that Cheez-Its would help me foot the bill. All right, we have a perfect wedge going on right now. Let's see if this is just going to break to the north side or break to the south side. But the end of the wedge is technically 10:07 if you're on this minute chart. Looks like AMC is consolidating a bit. Can you go over some more prices to buy in at? So I am watching, just if you can hold this breakout. 42.30 is important. 42, like between the high 41s and the low 42s is the closest major region of support. We have a breakout of this trend line at roughly 43, like 15-ish, but also we're watching 43.5. We are just looking for this breakout to hold. Before, we've had a fake out breakout. We've had a fake out breakout. We want a legitimate breakout. So that's what I'm actively watching on AMC. Right now, both AMC, PROG, GME, I guess all three right now made a high and they're coming down, cooling off. All of them are kind of in this wedge structure. RIVN's a different story. That couldn't hold 154 and like just a clear sell off there. But on all these other ones, we're just waiting. We're seeing how this wedge actually plays out. Obviously, early morning enthusiasm, AMC, GME, not so much PROG. PROG a different story because there was a considerable gap up. But we're waiting. Actually, let me zoom in here. It's a better way to see what's going on with this wedge. Waiting. Patience. For me, I mean, obviously I care about intraday movement, but this is not a day trade for me. There's like some weird erroneous thought that people think I'm a day trader. I rarely day trade. I don't really like day trading. Day trading is super hard. And most of the time, if I end up day trading, it's more because I entered a swing trade and then my profit target was hit that day. So I just take my profits and move on with my life. I'm rarely day trading. I'm not the best at it. I don't really like it. I find that there's too much randomness involved. Matt, every single ape in here needs to watch your video from last night. Says, let's talk. You are the man with a heart of gold. Hey, I appreciate that, Mr. Dallas Jackman. Morning, Mark. Love the gecko hack. Could you please look at ASTS test Saturday launching in March? And if demo works, hoping to get tendies. So ASTS. We could look at the technicals, but that seems to be like a fundamental driver that you're talking about. ASTS. GOEV. People are asking me about GOEV. GOEV. Having a good day. GOEV up 20%. This is a EV play. Canoe does have a high short interest just below 30%. This is getting some moving. Broke out of 11.80, broke out of $12, right now $12.44. A gap up that's going green. It's out of this resistance. I have no GOEV position, but honestly, the next thing I would be watching, if it can get above 1250, which is an important if, I'd then be watching like 1430 to 1450. AMC breakout, GME breakout. GME leading the way on low volume, but leading the way nonetheless. Would love to see GME above 225. If you haven't already, I would greatly appreciate it if you guys could drop a like. It just helps me out with the YouTube algorithm. Whatever is going on, over the past 2 weeks, I've been getting many messages of, for some reason, just I'm not showing up. If you search me, I'm not on the homepage anymore. So it's just a way to battle back against whatever the hell's going on in the algorithm. If you could help me out with a like, that would be awesome. If you haven't already, join up with the Moon Gang by hitting that subscribe button. Liking, subscribing, completely free. It's honestly the main form of support that I ask for. Tesla going green right now. Whoa, Tesla on the move. Tesla. Look at that. Look at that Tesla move. You guys are welcome. It's basically because I don't have a position that it's doing it. We are rocking. All right, quick water break for this frog. I think someone in content needs to be brave enough to do a hot tub stream like on Twitch, but for stocks. That's the content that this world needs. All right. AMC thus far on this 1 minute chart, a little fake out breakout, but let's see if it's just making this nice new beautiful base right above 43. Would not complain about that in the slightest. GME trying to base. It's in that 212 to 215 region that we've seen GME battle out before. Current intraday high is 218. Gap filled on Prog, in my opinion, using wicks for sure body by a couple cents. So let's look at the bigger picture. Yes, it filled that gap. The gap fill was whatever the high was yesterday, a 513. So there's still a gap below it from November 15th at 355. My thoughts on gaps are most gaps are filled. That doesn't mean it needs to be filled in the short term, though. It could legitimately take serious time. So I like that it filled this gap, but when it goes gapping up to red, that's the risk you have. And now this risk is already like fulfilled. It gap filled to 5, whatever this was, 513. So let's see if this base can hold and if we can kind of bounce back up. Would love to take out 550 and then, of course, above 6, and the party is fully on with Prog. Look at this shakeout. Let me just put on like my teaching cap really quickly. You might be like, but Matt, it looks like you have a frog on your head. Yeah, okay, that's a good point. But let me just try to teach you something really, really fast. Okay, so what you have here, if you zoom out, obviously Prog's going upward. When you trade up, 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 and then you have a perfect downward channel. Look at 2 parallel lines, lower highs, lower lows. I mean, it was almost picture perfect without, like, it was off by a couple cents here. This is referred to as a bull flag. Downward channels. I know that's confusing. The naming doesn't really make much sense, but downward channels, perfect parallel channels, are called bull flags. It's trading. It's called a bull flag because it's trading upward into it. You trade down, 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 trades. These statistically break upward. Do they have to break upward? Absolutely not. It's just the odds say that it will break upward, but that doesn't mean 100% guarantee. The trickiness about this situation is you don't know how long the channel is going to build out for. It could keep bouncing. So you could be like, yeah, I know it's going to like break upward. You just don't know which one. Like if you thought that like right here, well, it ended up coming down a bit more. So what people end up doing is they try to play the bottom of the channel, or you could attempt to try to play the breakout and just use the most recent relative low as your risk. There's different methodologies there, and that's up to you of how you want to play it. I just want to call out this technical structure and say, yes, this is clearly a bull flag. We're looking for the breakout right here. Look at 1, 2, 3, 4. We're on the 5th test right now. It could be 2 tests. It could be 18 tests. I don't know, but we're watching this structure. It's very important to know. And this can be applied on various time frames. I'm on the minute chart. You can find these on any time frame. It's not like it's only applicable to the 1 minute. I'm just trying to call out whenever you see a channel like this, my first thought is, okay, when's it going to break out? And how can I use the most recent relative low as my risk point? What else do we have? Thoughts on BKKT. So that switched over from VIH, kind of a SPAC play situation. It's in the world of crypto. I like it. It has some big partnerships with Fisker or something like that. And I think Discover to kind of give out loyalty points, a crypto-based loyalty points. It's a digital asset platform. I'm a fan of it. I'm right now just very bullish on crypto. From now until the end of the decade, there's certain sectors that I just can't comprehend how they fail. Crypto is one. Online sports gambling is another. EV is one. Data processing, like cloud storage, data analytics, that type of stuff. I don't see how that could fail. What's another one? The marinara industry. I think it's only time. We're just waiting on time for federal legalization. There's just certain industries like that I'm very confident in just sitting on for the next decade. Mark seems should jump infrastructure bill helping high-speed rail. So with that, though, the fact that we already knew, like the infrastructure bill is already there, the market would have consumed that already. Really, people would have been buying it up on just like the rumor of the infrastructure bill being passed. A lot of the times in the market, you see people like front running the rumor. That's why we have the saying, buy the rumor, sell the news. The fact that it's already out there, signed, we already know the numbers, we know the details. I don't think we're going to see much more of an effect be exclusively because of the infra bill. But I do believe that a lot of EV just benefited off of the infrastructure bill. I was checking it out of like the details of what's in the infrastructure bill. I think $7.5 billion is going to be allotted to building out EV. Which, isn't that kind of weird in general? So obviously when you build out EV stuff, that's going to benefit EV companies. So if the government is building out EV charging stations, that will be a net benefit to Tesla, Lucid, Rivian, blah, 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 Ford, GM. Yes, yes, yes. So that's a benefit to the shareholders of those companies. But literally every tax-paying person gave up money for them to build it. So that's kind of weird, where the government is choosing to help certain companies with taxpayer money. So everyone who paid taxes helped benefit those companies, but obviously the board members, the employees, and the shareholders are the ones who benefited from, like, I guess, all that tax money. It's kind of a weird thing to really wrap your head around on that. More Sava FUD, YOLO double down. Thanks for the discount. What's going on with Sava today? Currently trading at 47. What happened to Sava? Shot all the way up. I was surprised it didn't gap fill. Now we're coming down, but we have this additional gap to the top side. Seems to be news driven. This thing has just been falling. I would be curious what the news is. Yeah, I see a lot more talking about Satima. Shout out Doge Man Dan. A lot of people talking about Satima. I don't have any of it right now. Matt, thoughts on crypto.com coin? No real thoughts. I don't use crypto.com. I have nothing against it. For me, all of the things I need in the crypto world are fulfilled by Voyager, Coinbase, and Gemini. Those are the three I use. The only complaint I have is none of those three have Ripple is my main complaint. All right. Speaking of that, if you're trying to buy the crypto dip, check out Voyager. Let me throw this up above my head very quickly. Voyager, the code is MAT21. If you're in the US, you download this. You should not have the only state you're going to have a problem in is most likely New York. If you're in New York, your state government does not like crypto, but it's not a web app. It's a phone app. You download it, throw in that code MAT21. As soon as you trade $100 of any crypto, you'll get an extra $25 of Bitcoin, just so you know. And I believe what I have, do I have anything pinned to the top of chat? Where did that go? Anyway, public.com. Why is this not pinned? Let me find this. So one of the biggest issues I see is the extreme amount of off-exchange trading. And basically, we're talking about market makers. We are talking about payment for order flow. So if you want to trade for free, get free stock for signing up. And you could also then see what's in my public portfolio, not public as in out there, but public, like literally the name of the brokerage. I just pinned that to the top of chat, but public.com/Kohrs. You can see what's the equities that I'm invested in, the ETFs that I'm invested in. So free trading, no market makers, no payment for order flow, up to $70 of free stock. And you can see what's in my brokerage here, like the ones that I'm particularly invested in. And let me switch this back over. This is what we need. We haven't had a hot rocket in a minute. Things exploding. AMC trying to hold this breakout. PROG going for its sixth distinct test of this downward channel. Let me open up some space here. Tesla cruising. AMC looks like it's getting hungry. Hungry hippo. 43.65, and then GME's looking very good. GME goes above 225. This thing, watch for the volume to start to get crazy with GME. The enthusiasm and the excitement that I think it could produce will really get people excited. AMC on Google Trends. Let's check that out. Good call. I do like to check Google Trends just to kind of see how many times people are searching things. Google Trends. All right, we have AMC. Let's search up AMC stock. Past 30 days. Let's go longer just to see a better trend. AMC stock moves in a very interesting pattern. Look at this. AMC, AMC, AMC. It's like, I guess people, very, very obvious cadence to it. Let's look at the past year. So here were the big spikes, January, and then obviously the May, June stuff. So you have to check out the different time frames. So here's like what 30 days would look like. We do have some of these spikes recently, obviously developing a little bit to the upside. 90 days. The spikes kind of over the past, 3 weeks, higher and higher. Let's see how this kind of goes. It seems to have like this very predictable cadence. I wonder what the next searches would be, and if we could just take out whatever this high was from late August. Let's see what GME stock is being searched. Kind of a similar thing. We have that August spike, but getting a little bit higher and higher over the past couple months. Let's see what PROG. PROG, look at that. PROG, nothing, and then higher, higher, higher. Let's see if we can keep that upswing. That was the past 90 days. Let's see the past 30 days for PROG. I'm surprised there's not a bigger spike right now on PROG. It seems like people really love PROG in Maine. Maine. Anyone from Maine listening right now, just know you're surrounded by a state of people who love PROG. Related topics, OCGN, Bitcoin, XALA, short interest ratio, PHUN, DWAC, AMC, PROG, very related to AMC and DWAC. Interesting. The more you know. The more you know. All right, AMC exploded to the upside. Now we're following this trend. Let's watch what happens at 43. GME doing its best to create a higher low, holding this breakout. As of now, throughout the day, PROG has still been selling off, trying to hold on to $5. We are watching this bull flag. Patience, patience, patience. Where do I see NVIDIA going? Well, NVIDIA has an earnings announcement after market close today, so I don't think that the technicals really matter, honestly. This is a fundamental driver. Tomorrow, there's a good chance NVIDIA either gaps up or gaps down. It's a 50-50 shot depending on what's said in the earnings announcement. I'm going into it a little bit bullish. Just because I know processing chips are very popular right now, high demand, low supply, but also I want to make it explicitly clear I'm not actively trading in NVIDIA. NVIDIA is a long-term investment for me. Earlier you said doo-doo. I rushed to the chat to type doo-doo and was pleasantly surprised that 500 plus other apes did the same. Huge thanks for all you do for the community you've created. Shout out, Matt. Feel like reading the charts on CEI. What do you think? CEI, I think is I could read the charts on it. I am not trading it. This was being pumped on social media. And then right here, a short report came out, I believe from Carisdale. And the people who were excited about CEI, like the talking people who were like just really excited about it, were not able to disprove the short report. Crazy stuff about like a fake CFO and various other things. I just remember the fake CFO thing. The people who were supporting it weren't able to disprove it, which I find to be like questionable. So with that, technicals, I could say, yeah, you want this to stay above $1.30. You have a gap fill down to $1.15. You obviously want it above $1. If you get this breakout, it gets exciting above $1.90, but no way would I trade this. No way would I trade this just because I don't know who is right. I don't know if the people on social media were right or if the short report people were right. All I know is the short report came out and the people supporting CEI they never disproved it. So because of that sounds very questionable to me. Maybe I'm being a bit paranoid, but it's also my personal money. It's like, I'm not going to put my money on a play where I'm just like, oh, like maybe they just didn't have the time to disprove it. I mean, if you're talking about your hard-earned money, you better be pretty confident. It was disproved last night, released a statement with a response. Okay, so I guess it was just disproved, which took awkwardly long. Why did it take so long? Because it happened over here. It happened in October. Why are they just coming out now in mid-November? I find that... I'd have to look into it. I don't know. I haven't read it. I didn't know it was disproved last night. Also, why did it take so long? It took them 6 weeks to write this letter. Oh, it was in a 10K, someone is writing. Okay, so even that though, if they disproved it, that's looking better for CEI, but I would still, once again, I want to know what's going on before I throw my money on it. And the 10K is coming out Friday, Stacy's saying. So anyone involved in CEI, I highly recommend checking out the letter that I guess dropped last night. And there's also a 10K this Friday. So if you're in CEI, if you're considering CEI, that's something I would definitely say you need to look into. Someone said Paul versus Tyson. Are they fighting? Is Logan Paul fighting Mike Tyson? Check their Twitter. I'm nervous, but holding. Check their Twitter. All right. I mean, I could look into it, but I don't know. I have too many red flags about CEI. So it's just not a play for me. Like, I don't have an infinite amount of capital to be able to play everything. My point is, if there's something that's questionable, like if there's so many other plays out there, why do something that like has red flags? Maybe it doesn't have red flags for you. So, okay, trade it. That's fine. But it has red flags for me, so I'm not going to trade it. Oh, well, I guess Logan died. Man. And then isn't there Paul brother, Jake Paul fighting Fury's brother? So, well, we have Logan Paul fighting Mike Tyson, and we have Jake Paul fighting the Fury brother. That's crazy. Where can you buy Ripple? I'm told you can get it on Uphold. UPHOLD. Who controls the options chain for stock? Why hasn't PROG or Lucid opened higher options chain? Is that good or bad for a gamma squeeze? It's based on, like, when you're building out that market, it's demand. Some equities, because there's such low demand, don't even have options. So as things go crazy and as a stock moves and as volume gets higher and as options volume gits higher, they build it out more. Like, there are like market makers, basically. Don't think of it as the same type of market makers that we've discussed before. But yes, it's all based on demand. If people are trading a stock and there's higher demand, they add more strike prices, also based on volatility, but also they'll add more expiration dates. It's all the public's demand. They'll add it if the demand is there. Matt, can you check out TALK, possible gap fill as it was sold off. Very positive earnings. Thanks for all you do. Wait, if it was very positive earnings, why did it sell off? It couldn't have been that, well, it missed on revenue. I mean, obviously the public didn't like what happened. I mean, the earnings announcement caused it to hit a new all-time high. That I wouldn't say that was positive. You can buy Ripple on Voyager also. No. You can track it on Voyager, but you can't actually buy it there. I've tried that. I've tried that a lot. HUT, that's another mining company, a crypto mining company. I'm not the biggest fan of crypto miners just because why not just play crypto directly? I don't see an advantage of playing Riot, Mara, HUT, any of those over just buying Bitcoin or Ethereum or Bitcoin and Ethereum directly. Because if you're getting into a mining play, you're betting on the uptrend of crypto. But on top of that, you have to consider the inter-business competition between all of them. So you're making the bet more complicated. If I didn't trade on red flags, I'd still be getting cheated on. Love listening every morning. What's going on, Mateo? What else do we have? Crypto.com, the new name is Staples Center. That's how it works. The government invests in emerging technology that drives the economy. Yeah, but my point with all of that is the shareholders, the people who have stock, benefit from taxpayers when not all taxpayers benefit from it. Like, I mean, I don't mind because I'm invested in EV, but I'm just saying everyone who paid taxes is supporting the creation of new EV infrastructure. So we all pay that. All taxpayers have, in a certain sense, contributed to it. But then the beneficiary of it are people who are like have equity in the company. What are my thoughts on ATER? So the recent commentary was from the CEO who said that they have proof of naked shorts, but it hasn't. I mean, from a technical perspective, it's not looking good. It's at support right now, pushing the support, looks heavy. If it doesn't hold the current level of like 590, you're talking about 530, below 530, you're then talking about $4. Man, PROG cannot catch a bid today. We are in this bull flag, waiting. So this is just being systematically sold off, shorted. Actually, how many shares went on loan today? They've borrowed 621,000 for a net of 584. The fact that we've traded a volume of almost 100 million tells me this is relatively a drop in the bucket. Very systematic. This is a very, very controlled sell-off. Very controlled sell-off. Can you do a quick NVIDIA TA? Thanks for your passion in our cause. Yesterday was chills, literally chills. Our community learns and looks up to you so much. Shout out, Moon Gang. All right, NVDA. So once again, technicals, I mean, this is what I had from before of just it ran so much it looked like it needed to take a breather. It looks like that's what's happening. I'm bullish on NVIDIA, but in the short term, if I could pick up some on this gap fill of 267, especially if I could pick up some on the gap fill at 233, I would. But earnings, it's a crapshoot. Like it's either going to beat expectations or it's not. And unless you have that insider information, you're flipping a coin. I truly do not know. I see that it's a bit range bound at 306, maybe down to 293. So the technicals are a bit boring. It's sideways. It tells me people are waiting to see what's actually said at the earnings call. Is CEI a shorted company? CEI is not a short squeeze play. It has a short interest of 8%. It might just be a momentum, like that's fine. Like stocks can move quite a bit on just pure momentum. But just to clarify, CEI is not a short squeeze play. It doesn't have that high of a short interest. But that's fine. That if you're in CEI, don't let that ruffle your feathers. I mean, look at how much DWAC moved, and there was no one shorting that at first. Smooth Brain Ape here in PROG and AMC. What can you explain what a controlled sell-off mean? To me, it's just very systematic. Like when it's just like the same perfect cadence, same perfect volume. It almost just seems like a scheduled sell of like, okay, we're going to sell X amount every couple minutes. It's just, it's exactly that. It's controlled. It's just a very, like whether it was like a pre-scheduled sell-off or whatever it was, it just seems very controlled, very, very concise. Matt, thank you for covering different stocks. I've learned so much from watching the past few months. You bring great content. Space Ape forever. Shout out Stacy B. Wondering what your thoughts on Hitty would be. I've been doing my own DD and looks like a great marinara play. Thank you so much. So I know a little bit about Hitty, but it's still, I don't like it enough for me to deviate from my plan of being most interested in the most well-known and largest marinara plays. Hitty's a relatively small company. Tilray and Canopy Growth Company are way larger and have way more name recognition. Is my B-day today. This last year has been really rough, but since I found the APES back in May, I've learned so much and laughed so much. You made a difference in my life, and I'm internally grateful. Karthik, hey, I'm very happy that the APES could help. I'm happy that I could personally put a smile on your face. Happy birthday, man. Congratulations, and here's to the whole next year being absolutely awesome. Looks like PROG is finally getting this breakout. Finally. Here we go. Watch for PROG to get over 540, and then the game is fully back on. Once again, watch for PROG to get over 540, and the game is fully back on for today. Patience. Where is me being a frog today? I need more water. Bull flag break. All right. Is the video freezing for anyone else? I don't think it should. If you're having like lag freeze issues, maybe just do a quick reload of the page. On my end, it looks like it's being sent through without drop frames. All right, let me take a quick sneak peek. Russell's coming back around. Nice. All right, let me throw Tesla back up here. This thing's going crazy. Lucid, PROG. All right, let's get Tesla right there. Tesla doing what it does best. All right, PROG, let's see if it can hold this. Once again, I am watching for 540, currently trading at 515. That's just the technical level support. We had a breakdown at 10 a.m. If it can recapture it because it quickly became resistance, it seems like from an intraday perspective, an important pivot level has become 540. But that's interesting to note because previously on the daily chart, we've seen resistance around 530. So still roughly in that region, obviously an important price level. So I think if PROG gets back above that, gets very interesting. GameStop is looking beautiful. If it gets above 215, 218, I'm watching 225. And GameStop, similar to PROG's 540, I would say that's similar to AMC's like the low 43s. Back above that, and then we're watching 43.65. Tesla making its move. Matt covers everything from Mr. Rogers to Kermit the Frog. Thoughts on TW Twilio? November 26 through 25 strike call down 78%. That's not a good situation. I'm not seeing much strength here. If it gets above 316.50, you would have that shot. But this is like the main resistance you need to pay attention to, Scott. It's all, the pivot point is right here. I like the higher lows, but you need that break and hopefully soon of 316, 317. I'm the one that YOLO'd the RIVN puts lotto winner. Congrats. Need the magnet on PROG to start the rip. All right, if you guys want that magnet, I could give you that magnet. Here we go. This isn't legal in all states. And definitely not legal in all countries. So be careful if you're using the magnet. Eugene, shout out. Congrats, Matt. What's going on? Mike, taxation is theft. Thanks, Matt. Watching you just got a nice limit fill, 475 for PROG. Shout out, Mike. I hope it pays off for you. Hey, pal, 6 years free of booze today and up 8K on PROG. Sometimes karma isn't a bitch. What's going on, Micah? Congratulations on kind of turning your life around there. Congratulations on the profits. That's awesome. Hope you're having a great day. Hey, Duck Boy from the best trader on this side of the pond. Great video yesterday. Love your work. Shout out, Peter Van Dan Kloot. Thoughts on BLNK potential with 30+% short interest. Does this really have 30% plus short interest? Yeah, 38% short interest. Cost to borrow, almost 15%. Utilization, 100%. Shares on loan, 17. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Is it on the threshold list as well? BLNK, folks. What are we? Hang on a hot second. NASDAQ threshold list. Is it on the threshold list? No, it's not. So it's almost a 5-star setup. I would say this is a 4-star setup. Almost. Wow. High short interest, lower float. The infrastructure bill is obviously going to be helping it. It's getting some momentum, technical breakouts. I don't think it has many FTDs. So if you're like a person who's looking for that, like I said, it's not a perfect 5-star setup, but maybe worthwhile to dive into and see what's going on with BLNK. What are my thoughts on CEI? My thoughts on CEI is that I'm avoiding it because I just don't know the situation. And also, it's basically a penny stock, which is just inherently, I'm not the biggest fan of trading penny stocks. There's a lot of shenanigans that go on in penny stock trading land. Tesla having a great day. PROG, is it going to hold this breakout? Are we finally pulling the U-turn? GME, flat. Lucid doesn't know what it's doing. RIVN kind of actually looks like PROG. Sold, but maybe potentially basing right now. IWM getting some momentum in it. Nice talking with you last night. Remember, Strawberry Daiquiris put out that big, thick energy Moon Gang Prog Me Bebe. What's going on, Gorilla Champ? SNDL, someone's asking about the short interest on SNDL. Let me check that for you. SNDL Sundial Growers has a short interest of 17%, not 30%, 17%. Not a low float though. SNDL is a big float company. The best tester trader on this side of the school code. What's going on? Alpha Lima Aviation. Philip said, I missed yours. Philip, where is yours? Philip, I don't think it came through. I'm not seeing Philip. Yeah, Philip, feel free to just tag a mod in that and they could help you out. Why is the number 9 so sassy? Are you an ARC fan? I feel like Kathy plays were a lot better hyped in 2020, early 2021 versus now. So I have ARC because of the hype from last year, but it's been losing its luster for sure. Can I go over the PROG options flow? Yes. PROG, bullish, 53% bullish. The bearish premium, 47%. Let me double check this with another source. I've noticed that sometimes this is like, they can differ a little bit. So let me just double check PROG for you. Log in with another options thing. PROG. This one says that the sentiment is like straight up bullish on the other one. So Unusual Whales is saying it's bullish, but to not the same degree that this other data source is saying. And I'm checking it with Cheddar Flow. It's actually crazy how bullish Cheddar Flow is saying the options is for PROG. Let me see if I can find the biggest plays. Someone bet. Wait, what's the strike? I They bought calls. They bought at the money calls. They bought $600,000 worth of at the money calls. No, hang on. The strike price was $1. So they were deep in the money calls for January 21st, $645,000. Then they spent another $645,000 on January, February, March, April. April monthlies, $1. So they spent $1.2 million deep in the money calls around for $1 strike. Wow. That's a lot. They also, someone else spent $400,000, $3 strikes for this Friday. This Friday, 300, 400, $375,000 for this Friday, $3 strike. And they did that around $5.75 when the stock was there. Crazy, 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 the money. The money, the money, the money. Makes you wonder, do they know something we don't? All right, people are calling out the bull flag here. Great call. Makes me feel like I'm teaching something. Maybe it'd be a bit better over here, like that. Bull flag, bull flag, bull flag. We're just waiting for that breakout the way that PROG did. All right, IWM kind of coming back around. Tesla all the way back up at 1,100. Tesla just doesn't care. Just so you know, Elon did sell an additional 900 million. He almost sold another $1 billion worth of Tesla. All right, PROG, I'm telling you, just watch 540. 540, if this thing can hold above 540, I think some enthusiasm will pour in. Let's see how this goes. IWM, let's check the overall market. SPY coming back around. Qs, all right. IWM, we'll check that out. PROG looking good. AMC, look for it to push that. GME 230. GME's just flat. We have to just see if there's a trend developing. If it's above 212, it's still going to be pretty solid. We're just kind of waiting on PROG. If it's legal in your state and or country and you have TradingView, feel free to put a magnet. The more magnets, the better. There have been various academic papers written on that. The more magnets, the better. But also, you might want to first check your local law of even if you're allowed to put magnets on your chart. So be careful. I don't want anyone getting arrested. Damn, it's illegal in Canada. You're like, shit, I wish I could help, but it's illegal in Canada. Magnet is not legal in my state. Turns off live stream. Me, Tobey Maguire isn't in the new trailer. Marvel team, I missed the part where that's my problem. Are you serious about the magnets? Yes, I'm very serious. It's not a joke. Barry, I am, it's very serious. It's like a lot of you might think this is like all fun and games and I'm messing around just because I'm a person with a frog hat on my head. But when it comes to like emoji charting laws, I'm being dead serious. It is not legal in all places. Please be careful. You might want to like speak out, reach out with your local politicians, your local SEC branch, and see if you're in a jurisdiction where you're allowed to put magnets on your own chart. There's a lot of things I'm going to joke about, but when it comes to dropping emojis on my chart, we got to be pretty serious about some things. Oh man. Judging from the price action, I can see that some of you are putting emojis on your chart, but not enough of you. We don't play games on this channel. Wait, is it legal in New Jersey? If you have to ask, you probably can't afford it. Tomorrow on CNN, magnet collusion by apes. Do you think it's frustrating to people such as like Rich Greenfield and Ken Griffin and Charlie Gasparino that like this is the shit that they have to deal with? Some poor Gasparino intern, Greenfield intern, Chanos intern, Citadel intern. They're like, seriously? Like, this is the shit I have to deal with? Someone just said not legal in Denmark. Like, this is the stuff that they're like, are you kidding me? This is the thorn in our side? This kid? It makes it so much more funny. Oh, man. It seems like we're going to have to get like a legal GoFundMe going for everyone else using these magnets in jurisdictions where they're not allowed to do it. There's going to be a lot of charting emoji lawyers making good bonuses this year. Alabama outlawed it last year. The heady hero becoming an astronaut. Only legal for registered financial advisor in Ireland. Not legal in Washington, but screw it for the apes. Magnet lawyers are expensive. They are. Sup thick thoughts on GM. Thanks for all you do. Let's check out GM. Now that it's been embarrassed by Lucid and, oh, well, it's getting its own market cap going. 93. Overtaking. Looks like GM has overtaken Lucid by a couple bill right there. GM looks like it wants to break. It's at resistance. You never know if the breakout's actually going to hold, but it's looking strong. It looks, let's see. The risk, I mean, I guess you could risk 62. The next risk would all the way would be at 58, but I mean 64, it's knocking on the door of a breakout. Obviously EV based plays are like, people are getting excited about it. I mean, Tesla's looking good. We know Rivian's been going nuts. We know Lucid's been going nuts. Ford, GM. I don't own any GM, but I would put the favor in like the people betting on a breakout. Everyone is concerned about emojis being illegal, but we are certain that the Silco packets aren't considered performance enhancing drugs. Oh, brother. I forgot that I was accidentally ate one of those. Thanks for bringing that up. I wonder if it's ever gotten through my digestive system. If you buy and sell different strike prices for options on the same day, does it count as a wash sale? No, those are two distinct trades. It would be like two different day trades. The fact that you have a different strike at that point, it could just be a completely different stock then. Do AMC shorts have the incentive to hold a year for longer tax gains instead of short-term tax? I believe so, Jacob, just because like long-term to a short-term hold. I think so, but I would need some tax expert to check on that. I've never been in the position of holding a short for a year, so I'm not personally familiar with that. What are my thoughts on NVIDIA? I like NVIDIA. I'm bullish on NVIDIA. I think NVIDIA is a great long-term hold. And whenever it gets a little too red, I find comfort in the fact that I know Pelosi will just push it up for us. Magnets are legal in Chicago. They just pay 5% per magnet. Heisenberg using magnets to steal police evidence is nothing compared to this criminal behavior. Tread with caution, beef boy. Beef boy. Yeah. Not too many people have the gall to stream themselves breaking the law, but here I am. Magnets in clear daylight on this stream. If YouTube takes me down today, you know why. You know why. It'll just be like they caught up to him. They caught up to this outlaw. One question. I still don't understand how can shorts not cover on AMC already? Because okay, so if you're long on a stock, you choose when you get out. It's pretty similar with shorts. They choose when to cover. Like as confident as many of us are in AMC going up, that's how confident they are in AMC going down. So the steadfastness in which you hold your position is how many shorts are holding their position. Like I said, if you completely invert your thought with the same amount of position, like passion, that's how many AMC GME shorts feel right now. Just want to say thank you for what you do, Matt. Learned how to read charts from you. My portfolio is up 600% now. Started with 10K. Congratulations. That's insane. 10K. Wow. Magnets are a misdemeanor in most states, so it's okay. Good point. Good point. All right. We're just looking for PROG to get over 540. How is Tesla is just ripping? How's the Russell looking right now? A little bit muted. I mean, the exciting thing is just Tesla ripping. I still have Tesla as like my long-term like investment in Tesla, but I'm curious how many of you are currently in like a short-term Tesla play, like whether you're just trying to swing trade it, options, calls, puts. Like I'm curious how many people in chat right now are trying to play this Tesla momentum. Man, what a gain on Tesla. Hey, Mike, I heard that hooligans stealing the laptops were running because they heard you use magnets and didn't want none. that we're waiting for the detectives to confirm that, but it does seem to be the case. All right, we have some people swinging it. What catalysts are needed to spark a crypto bull run to correct the last sell-off? I mean, there's various catalysts that could happen, even something as basic as a technical breakout. There could be not only the U.S. government, but various governments accepting it more, coming up with more realistic regulations, maybe not being such asshats about taxes related to cryptos. There's various things that could happen, and we're just kind of waiting for one of them. But remember, something as simple as just a technical breakout, people start buying it, they see other people buying it, so they buy it, and then it very quickly becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Definitely a legitimate path. But for me, I mean, I'm still in my crypto. I'm just waiting. So I heard, actually, Dave Lauer, Avalanche to US dollar. I heard that, yeah, this one was one that's been holding up this entire time. In fact, I think it just hit a new all-time high. I don't own Avalanche. I want to look into it. I just found out about it because of Dave Lauer. He had tweeted about it, so I looked into it. And I do find it interesting that many cryptos are selling off, but Avalanche isn't. I don't even know where to get it. Is anyone listening in Avalanche? Can you like tell me a little bit about it? I think it's a utility coin. I believe it's a utility coin, but I need to learn a little bit more about it. Very nice rewards. You can get Avalanche on Voyager. Oh, it's on Voyager? I think I might get some then. KuCoin has it. Coinbase. It's on Coinbase. I'll have to check it out. Keep up the good work, Stud Muffin. I'm surprised that this many people are like familiar with it and know about it. I mean, there's so many coins and cryptos, but I do find it noteworthy that crypto's selling off and Avalanche isn't. Oh, they're new partners, Avalanche and Voyager. It's a DeFi coin. Okay. Avalanche. Launched in 2020, Avalanche is an Ethereum rival focused on creating a platform for decentralized application development with a market cap of 19 billion. Avalanche is dirt cheap compared to Ethereum, which is now worth 563 billion, and it can rapidly gain ground because of its advantages in transaction speed. dApps are self-executing programs allowing users to interact on a blockchain without a centralized intermediary. But while dApps expand a blockchain's potential use cases, they also increase its transaction volume, overloading legacy platforms like Ethereum, which struggles with low transaction speeds, 13 per second, and soaring fees. Ethereum uses a cumbersome proof of work mechanism where miners solve puzzles to validate transactions. Developers plan to change this with an upgrade called Ethereum 2.0, but it's unclear when that will go live. In the meantime, Avalanche uses a faster, less energy-intensive proof-of-stake validation system, miners verifying transactions using tokens they own, helping process an impressive 4,500 transactions per second. The Avalanche network is also naturally deflationary. According to its website, all transaction fees are burnt, sent to an inaccessible wallet to promote the scarcity of its native token, AVAX. So far, nearly 374,000 coins, almost worth 34 million, have been removed from circulation. Avalanche, AVAX. So this is its 3-month chart. Max supply, 720 million. Circulating supply, 220 million. The volume's up 61% in the past 24 hours. It's worth 75 bill, or no, 23 bill. What else do we have? Binance. This is the main one I recognize there. Interoperable blockchains, designed 3 interoperable blockchains. Interesting. So it seems like another proof of stake utility coin for dApps. Interesting. So very much a competitor to things such as Ethereum, Solana, Cardano, and all those. Would you consider TTCF a short squeeze candidate? Let me see the current numbers on TTCF. TTCF has a estimated short interest of 38%. Cost to borrow 17, utilization 99.8, shares on loan of 16. It trades on the NASDAQ, but it's not on the threshold list. So it's not a 5-star setup by any means, no. All right. I'm up 400% on 2 Tesla calls. Cha-ching. Wonderland Not Money is on AVAX. C-Chain gas fees are pennies on the dollar. Please look at Wonderland. Shout out, Jeremy. Could you provide a quick short list of what provides us with resolve that AMC will go up, and that may provide shorts with resolve that it will go down? So I think I can almost more fairly speak on the shorts resolve. They just think that it's a fundamental breakdown for them. They're like, hey, this movie theater chain is worth too much. They think it's a fundamental breakdown. But for what's going up, I mean, that's tough for me to say because there's so many different people paying attention to this who are apes and have different reasoning. For me, I honestly think out of all the things of why I'm excited about AMC, I think it's actually the community, the resolve of the community gives me personal resolve in the trade, the investment, the setup. But I mean, the short interest is there. I like how Adam Aaron listens to the community. They're using the insanity of the past year to improve the trajectory, the fundamental trajectory of the company. I mean, I suppose there's various reasons, but I don't think apes all have the exact same reason of why they're confident. I think all the shorts do. The shorts just think that we're stupid and this movie theater chain is overvalued. Like it's just a classic fundamental breakdown. You helped me start my career in trading. I want to help because you helped me. Please, simply for you, Wonderland is based on AVX by TIME. Stake it. AVAX, Time, and Wonderland. Let me write these down. AVAX, time Wonderland. I will look into these. Sweet. All right, folks, that is it for the morning show. I will catch you back here for Power Hour, 3 p.m. in 4 hours. Set your reminders. I'll get up a reminder there so you can just like turn on your notifications. Overall, thank you for the support. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the subs. Thank you for the positive energy. I will be back for Power Hour today. We're going to be hanging out. We're going to see how everything closes. Whatever happens in midday, I'll get the breakdown of it all ready for you. I'll catch you at 3 p.m. sharp. I'll be here. Thank you for the support. Enjoy whatever time it is for you, your breakfast, your lunch, hanging out with your colleagues, whatever's going on at work. I hope you have a great day. I'll catch you in a bit. And as always, from me and Chair, best of luck in the markets.